The silence is the first thing that kills you. Not the cold, not the radiation, not the emptiness, though all of those will certainly finish the job. No, it is the silence that breaks something fundamental inside the human mind, something we never knew existed until we left the warm cocoon of our atmosphere and ventured into the abyss between the stars. Think about this for a moment. Every sound you have ever heard in your entire life, every whisper, every scream, every song, every heartbeat has been carried through air molecules, bumping into one another, transmitting vibrations from a source to your eardrum. It is a physical process, dependent on matter. Now imagine a place where there is not enough matter to carry sound, not just quiet, but acoustic depth. A place where a spaceship could explode 1,000 kilometers away and you would hear absolutely nothing. Not a whisper, not a pop, nothing. The silence is so absolute, so profound, that your own breathing inside your helmet becomes a torment, the only proof that you are still alive, still tethered to a world that has already abandoned you. But the silence is merely the prelude to the true horror. Let me take you on a journey, not through a fictional nightmare, but through the very real science of what awaits any human foolish enough to leave the protective bubble of Earth's magnetosphere and venture into interstellar space. This is not a story about aliens or monsters. This is something far more terrifying. This is a story about physics. You see, our bodies evolved in a very specific environment, a gravitational field of precisely 1 g, an atmospheric pressure of 14.7 pounds per square inch, a temperature range that rarely dips below -50 degrees Celsius or exceeds +50 degrees Celsius at the extreme, oxygen partial pressure that keeps our blood saturated and our brains functioning, a magnetic field that deflects the solar wind and cosmic radiation, an ozone layer that filters out the most lethal wavelengths of ultraviolet light. We are not just comfortable in this environment, we are dependent on it. Remove any one of these factors, and our bodies begin a rapid, irreversible cascade toward death. Now imagine stepping outside that bubble. Not in a spacesuit. Spacesuits are for low Earth orbit, where you are still protected by Earth's magnetic field, and where you can be rescued in hours if something goes wrong. Imagine instead a journey to the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, which is 4.24 light-years away. At the speed of the fastest spacecraft we have ever built, this journey would take tens of thousands of years. Generations would be born, live their entire lives, and die inside a metal cylinder, hurtling through a void so empty that your nearest neighbor would be the distant, frozen corpses of the planets you left behind. But the journey itself is not the horror. The horror is what you would encounter the moment you left the heliosphere, the protective bubble of solar wind that extends far beyond Pluto's orbit. Beyond the heliopause, the interstellar medium begins. And this medium is not friendly. Let us start with the temperature, because it is counterintuitive and deeply unsettling. In interstellar space, the temperature can be thousands of degrees Celsius. Yes, you read that correctly. The gas between the stars, in what are called hot interstellar regions, can reach temperatures of 1,000,000 Kelvin. Yet you would freeze to death instantly if you were exposed to it. How is this possible? Because temperature and heat are not the same thing. Temperature measures the average kinetic energy of particles, but heat is the transfer of that energy. In interstellar space, the particles are so few and far between that, even though they are moving at tremendous speeds, they carry almost no thermal energy. Your body, radiating heat through infrared radiation, would lose heat far faster than the sparse particles could transfer it to you. You would freeze solid while being immersed in 1,000,000-degree plasma. This is the first betrayal of physics. It gives you numbers that sound like safety, but deliver only death. Now let us talk about radiation, because this is where the true terror begins. You have heard about cosmic rays, of course. High-energy particles traveling at nearly the speed of light, originating from supernova, active galactic nuclei, and other cataclysmic events across the universe. On Earth, we are protected by the magnetosphere and the atmosphere, which deflect or absorb most of this radiation. But in interstellar space, there is no such protection. The cosmic ray flux is relentless. Every square centimeter of your body, every second, would be bombarded by subatomic particles moving with the energy of a well-thrown baseball. but concentrated into a single proton. These particles are so energetic that they pass through matter like it is tissue paper, which, in a sense, it is. They would ionize your cells, shatter your DNA molecules, and create free radicals that wreak havoc on your biology. This is not a slow, creeping death. At the levels of radiation found in interstellar space, a human would receive a lethal dose in a matter of months, if not weeks, even with moderate shielding. The most terrifying part of this is the psychological dimension. You would not feel the radiation. You would not see it or smell it or taste it. The first sign would be the nosebleed, followed by the nausea, the hair falling out in clumps, and finally, the cellular breakdown that turns your internal organs into something that resembles a liquid. Your own body would turn against you, a process set in motion by invisible particles that have been traveling through space for millions of years, finally finding a target in you. But radiation is only part of the equation. There is also the matter of dust. You might think of space as pristine, but it is filled with interstellar dust, microscopic particles of silicates and carbonaceous material, some as small as a few molecules, others as large as a grain of sand. These particles may seem harmless, but they travel at relative velocities of tens of kilometers per second. At those speeds, even a particle the size of a bacterium carries the kinetic energy of a rifle bullet. Over the course of decades of interstellar travel, these particles would sandblast your spacecraft, eroding its hull and turning its surface into a pitted, scarred wreck. If you were unlucky enough to be outside the spacecraft, when a cloud of these particles struck, it would be like being hit by a shotgun blast, except the pellets are invisible and moving too fast for your brain to even register the impact. There is also the question of pressure. The human body is designed to exist under an atmosphere. Without that pressure, a cascade of physiological failures occurs. Your blood begins to boil not from heat, but from the reduction in pressure. Your lungs would collapse. Your skin would swell to twice its size. The water in your tissues would turn into vapor, causing your body to balloon grotesquely before the pressure becomes too great and your tissues begin to rupture. This is not science fiction. This is the reality of decompression. And in interstellar space, there is no rescue. There is no return. Once you are out there, you are subject to forces that have been shaping the universe for billions of years. Forces that have absolutely no regard for your fragile existence. But perhaps the most insidious horror of interstellar space is not the radiation or the vacuum or the cold. It is the isolation. The absolute, soul-crushing isolation. Imagine being trillions of kilometers from the nearest human being. The Earth would appear as nothing more than a pale blue dot, indistinguishable from the billions of other points of light that surround you. The sun itself would dwindle to a bright star, and eventually, as you traveled deeper into the void, it would fade into just another speck in the night sky. The concept of home would become abstract, a memory of a feeling rather than a place. The radio signals from Earth, which travel at the speed of light, would take years to reach you. If you called out, your words would be met with silence for 4 years, 8 years, a decade, a period so vast that the person you were speaking to might be dead by the time your message arrived. This is not mere loneliness. This is a fundamental disconnection from humanity, from life itself. The human mind is a social organ. An isolation of this magnitude induces madness. The astronauts on long-duration missions in low Earth orbit report profound psychological effects even with regular contact, and the sight of the Earth visible through the window. The first colonists of Mars, the first settlers on the Moon, they will be connected to Earth in real time enough to maintain their sanity. But interstellar explorers, they would be cut off completely, their mental health deteriorating in a void that offers no consolation, no hope of rescue, no promise of return. And then there is the darkness. Beyond the heliosphere, the light from the sun is so faint that it is no brighter than the stars themselves. The universe appears as a black velvet canvas, pierced by a million pinpricks of cold, distant light. There is no ambient illumination, no twilight, no dawn. There is only the eternal night, punctuated by the occasional flash of a distant supernova or the dim glow of the Milky Way, a sight that reminds you of your insignificance in a cosmos that is expanding faster than you could ever hope to traverse. But perhaps I have been too generous. Perhaps I have given you the impression that these dangers are distant, something that might happen to future generations, but not to us. That would be a comforting thought, but it would also be a lie. The truth is that interstellar space is not as far away as you think. The heliosphere, the boundary where the solar wind gives way to the interstellar medium, lies at roughly 18 billion kilometers from Earth. That is about 120 times the distance from the Earth to the Sun. It is far, yes, but it is not insurmountable. Voyager 1, launched in 1977, crossed this boundary in 2012. It took 35 years. There are humans alive today who were born after Voyager 1 launch, who are now approaching middle age. Interstellar space is not a theoretical concept. It is a physical reality that we have already breached with our probes. And what did Voyager 1 find when it crossed that boundary? It found a tsunami of interstellar plasma, a pressure wave that causes the spacecraft's instruments to ring like a bell. It found a density of particles 4 times greater than expected. It found a magnetic field that is both stronger and more chaotic than anything our models predicted. Voyager 1 is now truly alone, in a region of space that no human will ever visit, sending back whispers of a place that is actively hostile to everything we know about life. There is one more layer to this horror, and it is perhaps the most unsettling of all. It is the realization that interstellar space is not empty. It is filled with processes we barely understand, with cosmic magnetic fields that twist and buckle, with shock waves from ancient supernova that propagate for light years, with rogue planets that have been ejected from their systems and drift through the void forever. These phenomena are not just scientific curiosities. They are active agents of destruction. A shock wave from a supernova, even one that occurred tens of thousands of years ago, could strip the atmosphere from a planet as easily as you might brush a speck of dust from your sleeve. The interstellar medium is not a passive backdrop. It is a dynamic, violent environment that occasionally flares up and reminds us that the universe is not, and never was, designed for us. Let me give you a specific image to hold onto. Imagine a spacecraft, perhaps the size of a school bus, hurtling through the void at 10% of the speed of light. Inside it, a crew of 6 humans, cryogenically frozen to survive the journey. The ship's computer is programmed to wake them when it detects a habitable planet or when it arrives at its destination. But there is a flaw. A micrometeoroid, a particle of dust no bigger than a grain of sand, strikes the hull at a relative velocity of 30,000 kilometers per second. The impact creates a tiny breach, a pinhole in the hull. But in the vacuum of space, a pinhole is a death sentence. The atmosphere inside the ship begins to leak out, slowly at first, then faster as the pressure drops. The computer detects the pressure loss and activates the emergency systems, but it takes time the crew does not have. By the time the computer wakes them, they are already gasping, their lungs unable to extract oxygen from the thinning air. Their deaths are not instantaneous. They are a slow, suffocating realization that they are alone, dying, with trillions of kilometers between them and any hope of rescue. This is not a story. This is a forecast. Any interstellar mission, no matter how carefully planned, will face this kind of risk. It is not a question of if something will go wrong. It is a question of when. And when it does, there will be no rescue. There will be no second chances. There will only be the silence, the cold, and the endless void. But here is the thing that keeps me awake at night. Despite all of this, humans will still go. It is in our nature. We are explorers, dreamers, and fools. We will look at the stars and see not a hostile void, but a frontier. We will build ships that can withstand the radiation, shield ourselves from the dust, and somehow survive the crushing isolation. We will do it because we have to, because the alternative to stay here, on this pale blue dot, confined to one star system for the rest of eternity, is not something our species is capable of accepting. And that is the true horror of interstellar space. Not that it will kill us, but that it will not stop us from trying. We will throw ourselves into the void, generation after generation, knowing that most of us will not survive, but hoping that somehow one of us will make it. We will build monuments to our courage, our determination, and our hubris. and we will send them into the darkness on the off chance that somewhere out there, there is another warm planet, another blue sky, another chance. So the next time you look up at the night sky and feel that pang of wanderlust, that desire to see what lies beyond, remember this: what you are looking at is not a promise. It is a warning. The stars are not welcoming. They are indifferent. The silence is not peaceful. It is the sound of 1 billion deaths that have already happened, and 1 billion more that are yet to come. Interstellar space is the ultimate testament to our insignificance. A vast, cold, dark reminder that we are not the center of the universe. We are merely passengers on a tiny rock, hurtling through an infinite void that cares nothing for our dreams or our fears. And yet, we will go, because we are human, and we are afraid of nothing so much as the idea of staying still. This is the silence. This is the void. This is the horror that awaits us between the stars. There are no aliens, no monsters, no ancient evils lurking in the darkness. There is only physics, cold and certain, and utterly unforgiving. And that, my friends, is far more terrifying than any fiction.